pretty much hearing that the husband of the mistress found out through a doorbell camera. You know, doorbell camera is very very
It's
precise.
very common now, catching everybody
That's
and
the new
everything.
snitch. That's the new sellout.
Absolutely. Besides our cell phones, okay?
Yeah, that's the new sellout. So that's what I'm hearing. And another thing which I find strange. Do you know exactly who this person is, the mistress? You didn't hear, right? I don't know
No, they didn't release exactly who she is, but give social media a couple of days and it'll be out somewhere.
I figure. Now, do you know who Matt Barnes is?
Yes. He's another basketball player that's retired.
Right. So Matt Barnes, he did an interview with Vlad TV.
Vlad is always on something.
Yeah, and he said that he is retracting his statements because he made some statements saying that he thinks that a year is pretty harsh and on Mr. Udoka. And he was kind of like coming out in defense of Mr. Udoka, right? But when he went on Vlad TV, or even before he went on Vlad TV, I guess he said that someone called him and told him who this person was. And as soon as he found out who the person was, he retracted his statements defending Mr. Udoka. So he's pretty much saying that Mr. Udoka is on his own, he went too far.
He don't want to be out there.
No. So I find that kind of strange because it's like, to me, if it's not someone underage, because if it was, it would be some criminal type of thing, right? So it's definitely not someone underage. So if it's not someone underage, then who could it be to let you retract your statement defending this guy, right?
For me, I think it could be an exec. One of the higher execs that are probably his boss, or someone who.
I don't think it would be his. It cannot be his. If it was his boss, then he wouldn't be the one in the fire and getting all the.
He's the one more known. You see, if it's his boss, they're not seen on TV. They're not known to TV. You understand? Only the coaches.
Right, but then think of it. If it's his boss, I mean, I think more people would, who knows, who behind the scenes and know who it is, would be on his side, like on defense of him. If it was something like, if it was someone.
Why would they do that? Why would they do that?
Because I'll tell you why. Because if I'm in a situation where I'm at a job and my higher up, I decide to have an affair with someone who is higher than me, right? Then this comes out, and then remember, she's higher than me. She has more authority than me. So pretty much, it would be some kind of situation where, say she makes a move on me, right? I would be the one in the situation to be like, well, I cannot really just brush her off because obviously she's higher than me. So now someone on the outside seeing this might have more sympathy with me because they'll say, like, you know what, they're higher than him. So you understand what I'm saying? That happens.
I get it.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's someone higher than him, necessarily.
Who do you think it is?
That's why I don't know. I just find it strange that he would retract his statement when he found out.
So let me give you. Do you know who Matt Barnes is?
No, he's some former basketball player. That's all I know.
Okay, Matt Barnes is a basketball player that retired a few years ago. He had a wife that was on Basketball Wives.
Okay,
and he also had a teammate, Mark Jackson. That was his. I want to say. Was it Mark Jackson? No, it's Derek Fisher. Sorry, Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher was his teammate at one point, right? Him and his wife were together. They were going through a rocky time. They had separated. And Derek Fisher started dating his wife. To the point that he went to his wife's house and fought Derek Fisher, chased him around his house, and beat his ass. And that's how it was posted all over social media. So
that's like that's like B2K, man.
Right.
And this
right. And Matt Barnes was like, that's my wife. Those are my kids. You was my friend. You came, to my house and been there. Now you're gonna date my wife. And his wife and Derek Fisher are still together today, even after their divorce. You understand? But it was hurtful to him because he's like, this is supposed to be my boy.
Right.
So with that being said, I could see why he retracted what he said, especially finding out that the woman was married. You know, he's in a long-term relationship. I could see why he would retract what he's saying.
Right.
Now, as far
maybe
as who the
maybe
person,
that's why. Maybe because or maybe it's someone who
he knows.
Mr. Udoka knows very well and
Mm-hmm.
very close to.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
some type of, so maybe it's another executive or maybe somebody else's wife that Mr. Udoka knows very well. Maybe that's why he retracted the statement.
Right. Maybe it's somewhat like his friend.
Right.
You know, his friend's wife or something like that.
Exactly.
And also,
that's why I could see why Mr. Barnes would retract his statement.
This is what I'm saying. So for him to retract his statement, I feel like something like that had to come into play.
Right.
He wasn't just gonna, because he has a talk show that he does, I think monthly, weekly, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he has other basketball players come on his show and they talk about things like this and what they feel and whatever the case may be. But I think that would be a reason why he would agree or to not side with him.